Today we're taking a look at where the Cowboys sit in the NFL playoff picture, some seeding chances, NFC East chances, number one seed odds as well, breaking it all down. Here's where things sit entering the Sunday slate of games in the NFC. Eagles are 10-3. They have for now at least, a game and a half lead over Dallas. That could drop to 1, could stay at 2. They play the Niners this week in what is by far the best game of the season so far, which might change next week when Dallas plays Philadelphia. Who knows? Other things I'll make note of, the Lions are 8-3. That does matter for Dallas as it relates to potential playoff seedings and tiebreakers and whatnot there. There is now a 3-game advantage for Dallas in the number 5 seed race. They're in really good shape on that front. But we want more than just having to go win 3 games on the road to make it to the Super Bowl. Do you want the Cowboys to win the NFC East? Type me in the comment section. Sound off. It should be every person watching, so spam it right now. Dallas right now is the number 5 seed. They're coming off that crazy win over the Seattle Seahawks, 41-35. They play the Eagles next Sunday, so a little over a week from now, on Sunday Night Football. Then they have the Bills, Dolphins, Lions, Commanders, a very tough slate of games where the Bills are going to be fighting for their lives. They're a better team than their record indicates. The Dolphins are an obvious playoff team. They'll win their division. The Lions are going to win their division. So you've got a tough slate of games here down the stretch. The NFC East seed or standings sit right now. Eagles are 10-1. Cowboys are 9-3. Giants and Commanders are both 4-8. So your goal right now for Dallas, even though we can argument they're the second team, third team, whatever, fourth team, even if the Eagles are number 1, let's say they go, look, there's an outcome, folks. Dallas wins 13 games, and they're the 5 seed still. They have got to find a way to catch Philly. Because I don't know about you guys, I don't want to have to go on the road to Philly or San Francisco or Detroit to open up the second round of the playoffs. That's a tough game to play. You're probably going to be the underdogs. Maybe not against the Lions, but who knows? They might get hot again. They've been inconsistent this year. You want like hell to find a way to win the division. We're going to break down how that's possible here on today's show. But first, will the Cowboys make that happen? Y for yes, N for no. This question is your pinned comment on the video. So if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there, Y for yes, N for no. Here are the current seeding odds, just probability of getting to the number 1 seed, etc. 3% chance at the number 1 seed, 2% chance at the number 2 seed. Basically, you might not be able to be ahead of the Niners. You should be ahead of the Lions in all likelihood because to even win the division is going to put you as the number 1 or number 2 seed most likely because you'd have to beat the Lions head-to-head later on in Week 17 to basically help assure that. So that's why that is broken down that way. You're not going to get the 4 seed. 5 seeders right now an 84% chance. Massive favorites there. 8% at the 6 seed, which would be a bunch of losses against games you might not be favored in. 2% chance at the number 7 seed. The Cowboys' remaining schedule, as mentioned, is tough. Week 14, Sunday Night Football against Philadelphia. Then on the road for 2 straight games at Buffalo, at Miami. Week 17, home against the Lions. It's going to be on ESPN. It's actually going to be Sunday Night Football. Then you wrap up in Week 18 at the Commanders. That is not an easy slate. It is a gauntlet and a chance to prove to everyone how real of a contender you are. You checked off the first box in kind of ugly fashion against Seattle, only gets tougher from here on in. So to get that number 1 seed, the Cowboys need help. They can win out and still get locked into the 5 seed. That's a little bit unlikely. It would require Eagles to continue to do the Eagle stuff they've done all year this year, which we'll discuss here. But to get that number 1 seed, you have to find a way to win the NFC East. And that's going to be very tough. We will break down the Eagles element, how you need them to come back down a little bit here, and why your losses versus their losses so far actually hurt you in that whole development. But first, today's show is made possible by Rocket Money. Do you struggle to save money every month? With Rocket Money, you can quickly identify all of those sneaky subscriptions that keep charging you month after month after month and cancel any you no longer use. It's such an easy way to start saving money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills all in one place. Over 5 million users and counting. Rocket Money has customers average of $720 a year with $1 billion in total savings so far. That is absolutely incredible. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and monitor your spending and money the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/cowboys. That's rocketmoney.com/cowboys. rocketmoney.com/cowboys. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. So the Eagles, this is the team you're trying to play catch up against right now. Right now, they come off, they did it again. I don't know how they do it. They keep finding ways to win games. They maybe shouldn't. They're not playing that well, and they gut it out. It's a testament to a good team. You know, we're going to give the Eagles credit for that and give the Cowboys credit for beating Seattle. That's how it works. Niners this week. You are cheering for San Francisco because if the Eagles beat the Niners, even if you beat them in Week 14, you are still a game back, and then they're kind of through that gauntlet a little bit. Week 15 at Seattle. Week 16 home against a bad Giants team. Week 17 home against Arizona, bad team. Week 16 at the Giants. It's too easy for Philadelphia. You need the Niners to win. You need the Cowboys to beat the Eagles. And as it sits right now, what would happen is in Week 14, you would take, for a brief moment, the lead in the division due to tiebreakers. Here's how the division tiebreakers work out. First up is head-to-head, right? So you would be tied. Division record would be next. You would be tied in terms of the losses. You would have the better win percentages because the Eagles have played one less division game. So because of that, you would then take the lead for the time being. But Philadelphia would control its own destiny still because they would be able to beat the Giants twice. Even if you beat the Commanders in the final week of the season, you're tied at that point. Both teams lost one game. You would then go to common games results. Assuming it's, let's just say everyone wins out, right? And you finish the year tied. What would happen in that scenario is the common game results are the same. You both lost to San Francisco. You both lost to each other. And you lost against the Cardinals and Jets, who the other team beat. So they cancel each other out. It would then go to conference results. And that is where Dallas is in trouble. They have already lost to the Cardinals. That is an NFC game. The Eagles lost to the Jets. That is an AFC game. So the Eagles have that advantage, and it's almost impossible to flip it without just you taking the overall, win-loss record as it is. You would not be able to catch them. So what you would need, if you're going to stay tied and you're going to lose the game as well down the stretch here, assuming, let's say, both teams loses one game, and then you're sitting with 4 losses as the division crown. To win it, you have to go back to the division tiebreaker. And you need the Giants to upset Philadelphia. And that way you don't get to the conference results. The division record cancels it out. So either you win out, Eagles drop 2 more games, or Eagles drop 3 games, you drop 1, and one of those games has to be against the Giants, or Philly will win this division. That's how it's going to go. You need help down the stretch here. So don't miss any Cowboys news, folks. Hit that sub button. We'll break down the playoff picture each week. There'll be some changes here. I guess we won't break it down this upcoming week because I'll be out of town. We'll break it down post-Eagles game. That'll be a lot more impactful. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/CowboysTV. Now, getting the number 1 seed, got to win the division, right? You also would need to catch the 49ers. Now, you will not be able to beat them if they have the better record, or if they have the same record, obviously. They have the head-to tiebreaker. You cannot catch them. You have to have a better record. So what you need here specifically is a win over Philadelphia and drop at least one game down the stretch against Seattle, Arizona, Baltimore. That's the game I've got circled. You kind of need some help right there. That's the best thing that they play left. Washington and Los Angeles. Now you see why that number 2 seed odds were fairly high compared to the 1 seed, because it's a little bit trickier there. Got to have a better record than San Francisco. You will not win tiebreakers from that standpoint. Meanwhile, you should win any potential tiebreakers against the Detroit Lions. Now, they are also 8-3. Saints this week, Bears, Broncos, Minnesota twice, not that hard, and also Dallas. So if you're going to win the division, you're going to basically have to beat the Detroit Lions. To be honest, and that's what it's going to be. It's what it's going to take. And to make that happen, you're going to have to beat them. So you would own the head-to-head from that perspective. Who scares you the most, folks, in the NFC? 4 for the Niners, E for the Eagles, L for the Lions. Which team worries you the most? Go ahead and vote for me in the comment section right now. Before we go, the Week 13 rooting guide. It is Niners over Eagles. I know some of you hate that. I'm trying to win the division still. That's what I'm going for. Saints over Lions as well, because again, I'm trying to help out my tiebreaker scenarios for seeding if it comes to it. And then the 2 unusual ones here. You're going, why do I care about Panthers over Bucks and Commanders over Dolphins? This is part of Operation Keep the Good Quarterbacks Out of the NFC. Maybe that's Fields, maybe it's not. I don't really know yet, but I'd rather have the Bears have a lower pick just in case. And I want to knock the Commanders down in the draft order. So I'm cheering for the Commanders over the Dolphins as well.